Today we are discussing about the Google Data Analyst Capstone case study cyclistic bike share analysis, and in this video we're discussing about the first two phases like ask and the prepare phase of this case study. In the ask phase we did not have to do much more things because our business problem is already clear. In our task we have to do analysis based on how member and casual users use cyclistic bike differently, like what is their effect on cyclistic bikes. So we have to do this task in our analysis. In our analysis usually given have access to our data set, and our data set is given between the starting date of this data set is 2020 April 2020 to the last month in which you are assessing data. Like I'm now assessing the data in the month of November, so I have available the data set from until November. But if you're assessing the data set into January, you also have given the other month's data set. But I'm using the data set from January 2022 to December 2022, like 12-month data set, a 1-year data set that I'm using this data set into our analysis. You can generally download your data set here and then use any extractor that is available in your PC, and you extract your file and then save in your PC. And now I'm using Microsoft SQL Server for the prepare phase for joining all the tables into our data set. You can open your Microsoft SQL Server and then click on the database and then click on new database and then define the name of your database. I'm using the name of database as Cyclistic Bike Share. You do not need to click on other things and just simply press OK. Now if you click on the plus sign, and you can see your database is being created. Now go into a task and then import flat files. Then you can import all the files, all the 12-month files for January 2022 to December 2022. By using this process, and now you can see that we got an error just because end station name doesn't allow null values, so we allow null values by clicking on allow nulls. And now you can see we have data type error in end station name. We also have cause an error in the start station name, so we're using the start station name and end station name into varchar max, and then our dataset has been uploaded. Now we are uploading the February data for 2022 by using the same method that we used in the first task. I just rename this table like excluding the other data instead of 2022 just for clarification. And now as we know that when we firstly upload our data for first month, we got error of null values and in the start station name and end station data types. So because over all the data set is into the same format, so before uploading this, I'm just change the data type of start station name and end station name, because if we do not change, we also get an error when we are inserting our data. So I make it clear already. Now I'm uploading March dataset using the same step and the same methods by allowing null values and changing the start station name and end station name data type. You can also have to check the other data types in your columns, like what are the data types of other columns in your data set, because when you're joining over tables, then all the data types that we are joining, all the columns have the same data type that we are joining, because if the data types of some columns are different, then it causes an error. Generally, inserting data can take a little bit time. This is just because the depend on the size file. Like if there is a large file size is large, then it take a little bit more time than the average time. Now I'm uploading dataset for April. Now I've been uploading dataset for May by checking the data types and the null values, and then inserting over data. As it is taking a little bit time for inserting into our database because the file size is large. Now I've been uploading the dataset for June 2022 and checking the data types and then allowing nulls. Now it's inserting in our database. Now I'm uploading the data set for the month of July and then allowing null values and changing the data type of start station name and end station name, and by checking all the other dataset data types. Checking the data types is also being included into the process phase in which you have to identify null values and duplicate values, but because we're uploading this data set to SQL server and we have to upload by using this method, so we are taking the one step of checking the data types of our data set of phase or process phase. We are using this phase into the our prepare phase. Like one step of the process phase, we can check it in the prepare phase one step earlier. Now I'm uploading the dataset for the month of August by allowing nulls and checking data types of all the dataset, and then press next, and then press next. Now our dataset of August has been inserted into our database. Due to large file size, it has been taking a little bit more time. Uh, and now I've been uploading dataset for the month of November, and I'm just renaming my table name and then allowing null values and then checking data types. And now our dataset has been uploaded into our database. There is error that is coming, but you just skip this error like okay, and your dataset is being uploaded. Now I'm renaming the table name for October and allowing null values and checking data types. And then our dataset has been inserted. By using the method of task and then importing flat files, we can only import the CSV files into Microsoft SQL Server. If our dataset into the dataset files into the other formats like Excel and might be the different other formats, this dataset can never be uploaded by using the task and import flat file methods. We have to use some other methods. But our dataset is in the form of CSV files, so we can easily import this by using task and then import flat file method. Now I have been uploading the dataset for the month of I think November by using the same method. And now I've also got an error because our 8 cells are not included, so we just skip this by pressing on OK. And now I'm been uploading the dataset for the month of December and by allowing null values and then checking the data types of all of the dataset and then pressing next and next, and then our dataset has been inserted into our database. So now you now you have to see that the dataset in your the tables in your dataset that we have uploading using task and import flat file methods, but you can see there is no dataset for the month of March, so I'm using because I might be forget about that, so we are importing using the same method as we use for all the other methods. Sometimes when you click on the plus sign of your created database and then clicking on the plus sign on the tables of the database, you cannot see the tables in your database. Like now I'm seeing the tables from 2021 to December, from 2022 January to December 2022. Then you have to click on the refresh button, which is on the Object Explorer menu, and you can see all the columns in your dataset. Yeah, or either you can restart your Microsoft SQL Server. For I prefer you to use refresh button. Only by using refresh button you can get access to all of your tables that you have stored in your database. Now we're starting the prepare phase, and the prepare phase I'm just using firstly the simple select and form statement in our SQL server, and now I'm selecting the table, selecting the columns that we have to use in our analysis phase. I'm using write ID, writable type, and started at, ended at, start station name, end station name, and member and casual. You must have to include member and casual column into your table because this is one of the necessary thing in which our analysis is based. I'm using these 7 columns for our analysis phase. I'm using these 7 columns into all of the tables from January 2022 to December 2022 of the columns of ride ID, rideable type, static attendee dash, start station name, end station name, and member and casual. I'm not using the started longitude, ending longitude like you can see in the other columns like start LAT, start LNG, and end LAT, and end LNG, because these 4 columns didn't have anything to do in the analysis phase. The longitude kind of a columns has been valuable in the sense of visualization, but now we're not doing any kind of visualization, so I'm not taking these 4 columns. You can but these are not the primary column for the visualization. We want you to take that, it's okay, but if you don't want you to take that, it's also okay. And I'm also not using the start station ID and end station ID because we're already using start station name and end station name, and these start station ID and end station ID are representative of station name. Like if the station name is on California, then its ID is 1125. If the station name is on US, then its ID is on 123, like that. These are not have anything to do because we are using the start station name and end station name, so we do not need to use start station ID and end station ID. These are not the IDs of individuals, nor the ID of users that are as using the Cyclistic as a bike share, for as a member and as a casual user. So we do not need to use start station ID and end station ID in our analysis. And now I'm just copy and pasting this whole query, and then changing the name of the column, changing the name of the table. Like from 2021 I can change it into 2020 from January, if it's not in the form of January, and then I'm changing into February, then March, April, May, June, July, August, like 12 other months. I'm using the data set of these 12 months and combining in our prepare phase. Now this query is taking time because our data set has been in the form of large number of rows and columns, so it's been taking on the time. These are all the things that we have to do in our prepare phase, in which you have to select that which columns we are using, and then we have to join all the columns by using union all function. Now you can see the first 1000 rows of our data set. Now I'm saving this query by simply clicking on this card icon on the left corner, and then I'm clicking on the table which is the result of our query, and then I'm using the save result as, and then saving wherever I wanted to save it. Now it has been taking time because our data set that we are creating now has large, so it has been taking a little bit more time for saving. This is all in our prepare phase, in which we selected which data and which tables we are been using and which columns of these tables we are using for our analysis phase in the further process. Thank you.